We throw around the word godparent all the time, right? Usually it's a nice title we give to a close friend when a baby is baptized. But what if I told you that's just scratching the surface? Today, we're going to dive deep into the profound spiritual mission the Catholic Church assigns to this very special role.
I mean, this is how most of us see it, isn't it? It's a sweet gesture, a way to honor a best friend or a favorite aunt with a special title. It's like, hey, you're my best friend, want to be the godmother? It's a beautiful tradition for sure. But what if the Church sees it as something way, way bigger? Well, according to the Church, it's not even close. This slide right here, it really drives home just how different that perspective is. Being a godparent isn't some social honor. It's not like getting a trophy. The Church sees it as a formal, super serious, and totally lifelong spiritual mission.
All right, so to really get our heads around this, we first have to clear up what a godparent is not. Let's tackle some of the biggest misunderstandings out there.
Okay, I bet a lot of this looks familiar. We tend to think of it as a one-and-done ceremony, or we pick someone for sentimental reasons, or we even mix it up with being a legal guardian if something happens. But here's the thing. Every single one of these common ideas totally misses the spiritual point, and that can leave a child without a really crucial guide on their faith journey.
So if it's not just an honorary title, then what is it? Let's get into the real heart of it, the theological foundation, and see how the Church defines this mission of faith. Okay, so the official term the Church uses in its law is actually sponsor, and this isn't just about being picky with words. Calling it a true ecclesial function, that's an official office or duty within the church community. It basically elevates the role from just a personal honor to a public spiritual responsibility.
Now this is so important. Baptism requires faith. But an infant can't exactly profess their own faith, right? This quote from St. Thomas Aquinas just explains it perfectly. The child believes through the faith of others. We're talking about the parents and the whole church community.
And that is exactly where the godparent, or sponsor, comes in. They're not just some guest at the party. They are literally a representative of the entire faith community. Their job is to present the child for baptism, and then, and this is the big part, to help nurture all the grace that comes from that sacrament so it can actually grow and flourish throughout the child's life.
All right, so we've covered the why. Now let's get practical. What does this actually look like? What are the real, lifelong duties that come with saying yes to this mission?
As you can see here, it's all about spiritual mentorship. A godparent is meant to be a living, breathing example of holiness. They're supposed to be someone the child can look up to, besides their parents, who really takes their faith seriously. It's about steering their godchild toward what's good and away from evil, all while living a faithful life themselves. It's a tall order. In this slide breaks down how that actually works in real life. It's not just some vague idea. It means actually praying for your godchild and, keeping in touch. It means celebrating their baptism day like it's a second birthday. Maybe it's teaching them about their patron saint or building up a little spiritual library for them over the years. These are real, tangible things you can do to fulfill that mission.
Okay, here's another really important point that a lot of people get wrong. This is a permanent spiritual relationship. Once a godparent is officially written down in the baptismal record, that's it. You can't swap them out later. The role can't be transferred or changed. It is a commitment for life.
So, given how serious this mission is, it probably won't surprise you that the Church has some pretty specific requirements for who can even be a sponsor. It's definitely not a role for just anyone.
Let's just run through these real quick. The person has to be at least 16. They have to be a fully initiated Catholic, meaning they've received baptism, confirmation, and the Eucharist. And this is a big one. They have to be actively living a life of faith. Oh, and they can't be the child's mother or father. These aren't just like helpful suggestions. They are actual requirements in church law to make sure the person can truly handle this sacred duty.
So what happens if a really close friend you'd love to honor isn't Catholic? Well, the Church actually has a way to include them. A baptized, non-Catholic Christian can serve as an official Christian witness to the baptism. But, and this is super important, they serve alongside a fully qualified Catholic sponsor. They don't replace the need for one. Okay, so let's bring this all together. How should parents even begin to approach this huge decision? It's really about shifting your whole perspective.
See, the goal isn't to give someone an honor. The goal is to find an ally. Parents should be looking for a spiritual partner who's going to walk with them on this long, long journey of raising a child in the faith, a true partner for their child's earthly pilgrimage.
And that really brings us to the ultimate purpose of this whole mission.
It's so simple, but it's also profound and just incredibly important. It's to help the child get to heaven. That's it. That's the bottom line. It's the fundamental reason the role of a godparent even exists.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Whether you're in the process of choosing a godparent, or maybe you've been asked to be one, just think about this. Who in your life is a real light for the path of faith? Because at the end of the day, that's what a godparent is called to be.